Welcome to Focus on Scholarship. I'm Jaleh Rezaie, Associate Dean of Graduate Education and Research, and your host for today's session. Our goal at the graduate school and university libraries is to bring a focus and awareness to the exciting scholarly and creative achievements of our academic community. Our guest today is Dr. Bruce Pratt, Director of the Center for Renewable and Alternative Fuel Technologies, also known as Kraft, and a professor in the Department of Agriculture at Eastern Kentucky University. Dr. Pratt's research is focused on biofuel and the work that is going on at Kraft. Welcome to our program.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Dr. Pratt. Please tell us a little bit about Center for Renewable and Alternative Fuel Technology.
Kraft is a new program at Eastern Kentucky University, primarily focused at looking at technologies to take biological materials, primarily biomass, that plant material, and converting the energy that was in that plant material into transportation fuels. We're looking at biodiesel and potentially down the road jet fuel from this material. We're also looking at some of the co-products that are generated in the process of making these fuels. And so it's only been up for about 2 years, but we've been fairly excited about some of the achievements that we've made so far.
What is your role at Kraft?
Well, I'm the director of the research program, so I'm trying to coordinate a lot of the other faculty researchers and some of the research associates that we have in our center into a cohesive group, and so that we're focused on one aspect, even though the institution and the individuals are working on individual projects within that, coordinating it and trying to get some funding and moving the program forward. In addition to the role as director, I'm also involved in some of the research aspects of Kraft.
So you mentioned there are other faculties. How many faculty and students do you have at the center?
Right now we've engaged approximately 10 faculty at Eastern Kentucky University, and we have 3 full-time research associates, technicians that are helping the faculty in moving their research projects forward. We've got 5 graduate students working on the project and 15 undergraduates, so we've been able to engage directly in the research projects.
Tell us a little bit more about the actual research. What is the research that?
It's a fairly complex process. The part of the research that I'm involved in is the biomass part of it. I have an agricultural background, so we're looking to find out what materials will grow well here. We're looking at switchgrass. We're getting some switchgrass established at EKU farms and some other surrounding plots. And we're then, from that, we have a lot of logistics with the biomass, trying to get it harvested, stored, and then get the the solar energy that's stored in that biomass released in the form of the sugars, so that can be used to feed algae. We're looking at tank algae, heterotrophic algae. We've already captured the solar energy in the plant material, so we're going to then use that to grow algae even on days where it's not sunny and it's raining outside and it's cold in the winter. We can be growing algae to make our biofuels. So there's a lot of research that needs to be done on how to get these sugars out. A lot of research needs to be done on how to grow the algae effectively, different media to effectively get the highest oil content. And a lot of research needs to be done in that getting the oil out of the algae to be converted into the transportation fuel. So it's a fairly complex process.
It does sound complex, but what does that mean to common people? If somebody's looking at us and listening to us, what does it mean to them? How is it going to affect their lives?
Well, most everybody is relying on energy at some form, whether you're just turning on the light at your house. That takes energy, and it's all interrelated. Most of us are driving vehicles, and so we're paying money to put gasoline or diesel into your vehicles. And just recently, the price of gas jumped a little bit. So there puts a little bit more impetus on trying to get these type of products available, so we don't have to rely as much on our fuel sources coming from outside our borders.
That is the key.
Approximately 60% of our fuel comes from outside the United States. So not only is it a national security issue, but also by purchasing that much fuel from outside our borders, a lot of our U.S. dollars are leaving this country, and that translates into jobs. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at trying to create these industries and these economies locally, and trying to keep the jobs in the United States. So not only does it help when you put fuel in your car or diesel in your truck, but it also helps the local economy in creating economic opportunities and job opportunities.
That's great. You mentioned funding, that you work also on the funding and writing grants. What kind of funding have you had already, or we're looking forward to getting?
Our primary funding source has been the Department of Defense, and we've been fairly successful in securing some of those funds. In addition to the large chunk of money that we have from the Department of Defense through the Defense Logistics Agency, they're the part of the Department of Defense that procures fuel and other items that the military needs. So that's why the research has been funneled through that particular office. We do have some state money from the Kentucky Ag Development Fund. This is essentially money that was secured through the tobacco buyout that occurred several years ago. So they're looking at alternative crops, and obviously the biomass crops, these dedicated energy crops like switchgrass, is an alternative for the agricultural community. Mm-hmm. And we also have some money from the Appalachian Regional Commission, again, where Eastern Kentucky is located, and most of our service area is in the Appalachian Regional Commission area, and so if we try to develop these local economies, it'll help the Appalachian region.
If any other faculty who is not involved right now would be interested to get involved or get their students involved, is there any process for that?
We do have some internal mechanisms to be able to get funding to faculty. Process that an application process, depending on when funding comes in and what dollars are available. I evaluate it, and then I do have an external review committee that looks at this for validation to see how well it fits with the program, if the technology is there, because there's a very diverse technology. I have a lot of faculty involved in chemistry, looking at some of the co-products and other aspects of it, and to be quite honest with you, some of this chemistry is a little bit beyond me, and so I need to have some expert advice on what some of this stuff is actually involved in.
Well, you mentioned chemistry. What other departments at EKU are involved in this project?
We've engaged mostly, or most of the people are in the Department of Chemistry, but we have faculty in biology, we have faculty in geography and geology, economics, and the Department of Agriculture. So it's a fairly broad scope of things, and there's opportunities in other areas too to engage people. So
this research and grant writing, and do you do also teaching?
Right now, as director, I've taken myself out of the role in teaching. I've had to do a lot of traveling associated. It was difficult to travel, and you've got commitments in the classroom. That's one thing I do miss. I came to Eastern primarily because it is a teaching institution, and I love teaching. But I'm still engaging students in the research and involved with that.
You work with the students that way. Well, this has been fascinating. We really appreciate you. That's it for this edition of Focus on Scholarship. Please join us next time as we continue our series of webcasts celebrating the scholarly and creative achievements of the faculty and staff at Eastern Kentucky University.